Good afternoon, everybody. It's me, Skin Glowing Afro. I am back to do another YouTube video, and I wanted to tackle the whole abortion topic that's been going around on social media. Because it's now against the law in some states in America to have an abortion. What me the most about this is the majority of the people who are coming up with these laws to basically punish women for choosing to have an abortion are men. One of the laws I read is that if a woman has a miscarriage, they're going to basically charge her as a crime. They're basically going to charge her and say, oh, okay, so you've had a miscarriage. What was the circumstances? And if they believe that you somehow caused yourself to miscarry, as in on purpose, then they're basically saying, well, you could go to jail. Me about this whole issue is so many men online are giving their unwanted opinion about this situation, which is very, very amusing to me, because I don't mean to be funny, but some of you men are sitting there up online talking about how a woman should do this with her body and blah, blah, blah. And the key thing here is it's her body. She has a right to do what she wants. Me personally, I don't believe in abortion. I wouldn't have it myself personally, but if any other woman chooses to have an abortion for what reason, it could be simply because they don't want children ever, or they're not ready for having children, or they can't afford to have a child. It's not always about trauma. There's always different things. There's always different reasons. Please stop telling women that instead of having an abortion, they should give their child up for adoption. The adoption process is long and tiresome, yeah? And the mother would also have to give up her parental rights. So it's not an easy decision for her to make. If she feels that she wants to have an abortion, that is her business. You must understand that. Do you know how many children are in foster care and are in the process of waiting to be adopted? Like, it's not an easy thing. So please stop seeing that as some easy solution. Oh, if you don't want a child, instead of having an abortion, go put the child up for foster care, or put the child up for adoption. Like, downright jankro insensitive, like blood clot insensitive. You have absolutely no manners whatsoever. Yeah, you just want to sit online and tell women what to do with their body. And I'm going to be totally rude right now. Some of you men, yeah, want to do this thing where you want to be spreading your seed here, there, everywhere, but you don't want to be raising these children that you're spreading around. And you just expect a woman to have to raise your child by herself because you decided to get her pregnant. Yeah, sure, it's a two-way thing. But at the end of the day, if you're not going to be around to raise that child, she has every right to abort that child if she feels that she is either not emotionally stable, or she's not ready to have a child. It's that simple. Or she doesn't want to have children, or she may not want them at this time. So she has every right. If you're not going to be around, then she also has the right to say, you know what, I don't want this child. And she has every right to say that. Big Twitter and open your long fucking necks and chat all this foolishness. Yeah, look how many women you're making single because you don't want to be in a relationship with them. Yeah, you don't want to be in a relationship with them. You just want to knock them up, and then you just want to bounce out the fucking door. You understand? And please stop saying this nonsense about, oh, she could have used a condom. First of all, condoms are not 100% effective, and not everybody can just simply go to take a plan B or morning after pill, whatever, because sometimes we know what it does to our body. Yeah. So that's not always the simplest option. So you really need to stop giving unwanted opinions about situations that do not affect you. One guy who bothered me the most, he basically said he had 4 children of his aborted by women who didn't care about his rights. First of all, 4 different children had been aborted, I'm presuming by 4 different women. So you mean to tell me you wanted 4 different baby mothers? Even though I hate that term, but just to put it in context, you wanted 4 mothers of your 4 children. That's what you're basically saying. If you having 4 of your children aborted, that's more an incidence of what on earth have you been doing to make women not feel that they can actually want your child? Because one abortion I can understand, but four, and from multiple women, not just one woman but multiple women, that tells me that you're a bit shady, sir. To this single mother's issue, why is it that men feel that just because they have you know, obviously you have right to your opinion, but you really should not be talking about everything? Because at the end of the day, the experiences that a woman goes through, you know, getting pregnant and deciding whether she wants to keep the child or have an abortion or put the child up for an adoption, these are not easy things. And to be fair, most men can't relate to that. You really can't. The process of, you know, giving birth. So why do you expect to be selfish but not understand a woman's right to also be selfish? If you don't want to be there, or sometimes you are there but you don't want to be with that woman, so you want her to carry your child for 9 months but you don't want to be with her, how is that fucking fair? Yeah, you just wanna nut in a woman, but you don't actually want to be prepared to actually raise the child and all that comes with it. The actress, what's the name, Alesia Milano, she played Phoebe in Charmed. She's basically posted something earlier this week that said until women get their rights to their bodies back, we should go on a sex strike. I thought that was very interesting, she said, about this sex strike, because at the end of the day, it's not really going to make a difference, because there are people who, you know, who are infertile, so they can't even get pregnant in the beginning. So therefore, a sex strike is not going to help them, is it? So you didn't honestly think about that. And then there's also, you know, trans women, trans men. What about them? You're punishing them. You're basically saying, I'm straight, so therefore there should be a sex ban. There should be a sex ban. Deny myself, because, you know, this whole issue is about women's rights, but we aren't the only women out here. But it was just a load of bullshit, really. It's just, honestly, every time I read something about Alesia Milano lately, I just think to myself, what has she done this time? And then I see it once again, a white feminist is, you know, putting herself above others. And this is all I see from her. Putting herself above others. Like, girl, if you don't get a grip, you need to get a grip, because your sex strike is nonsense, because they're not going to listen to that sex strike. Listen, yeah, the women who want to get nutted in are going to get nutted in, right? The men who want to release themselves will release themselves somehow. So this whole sex ban thing is not really going to work, is it? White women who actually, the one who wrote the legislation in, and the other one who actually said, the one who actually came up with it. And then, you know, we got these white men as well who, you know, sitting around making up all these rules to basically punish women. And you know for a fact that the population of people in America who are most likely to get impacted by these new abortion laws are going to be black women and other ethnic minorities, because of their socioeconomic status in America. Once you understand all these things, you know it's basically a punishment for black women once again. But it's funny though, but I think they've only brought these laws in because they've seen that actually it's not black children who are the ones who are not being born as much. It's actually white children who are not being born as much, but they don't want you to know that. Frankly, sickened by this whole situation. You cannot tell a woman what to do with her body. It's her body at the end of the day. If she wants to have an abortion, that is her business. There are some women who have so many abortions they become infertile even though they want to have children in the future. Like, again, it's their business. They knew the risks. If you know the risks and you still choose to do it, on your head be it. That's how I see it. Like, you have every right to do what you choose to do with your own body. Nobody has the right to tell you, well, you know what, I don't think you should do that. Like, I think you should mind your business. You know, women have abortions for a number of reasons, and like I mentioned previously in the video, it's not always because of trauma, it's not always because of sexual assault, it's not always because of rape, it's not always because of, you know, blah blah blah. Sometimes it's just they don't want a child. That's simple. And I know people are going to be like, what do you mean you don't want a child? You shouldn't have an abortion. Or why don't you put the child up for adoption? Like, you know, the same way you could have scrolled past a tweet and minded your business is the same way, you know, you can find a way to keep your shit to yourself, because not everything needs to be revealed. I personally feel that with this whole abortion topic, it's really disturbing. It's really, really disturbing what these people in power are actually doing. America is basically hell at the moment, same way as England is basically hell at the moment. I would advise people who have the means to get out of these countries and want to leave, because these rules, they're so archaic and they're so backwards. At this point, it's like, are we in 2019? I mean, making abortions illegal as if it's the 1900s, when people had to have backstreet abortions. And now they're trying to go back to this kind of way of thinking that they have a right to tell women what to do with their body. Like I said, I'm ending this video here. Let me know your thoughts down below. And for those men who feel a certain way about it, that's not a case of, all you need to be saying is a woman has the right to do with her body. We don't want to hear anything else. We really don't want to hear anything else. We don't want to. We honestly don't want to, because it's hard enough being a woman without having to deal with the shit some men come out with, like, full of shit, ain't shit. What else do you want me to say, really?